Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel for part 2 of our epic Northumberland and County Durham adventure. A much more chilled route for today, super scenic lanes, camera fail, that one, and then finishing on a superb cliff top lane with amazing views over the North Sea. Let's get to it. So day 2, we booked in for a full day's course at Andy's Outings, Bushcraft and Foraging School. Bloody brilliant day this was, so much fun, just learning stuff and doing stuff that you just don't get to do on a normal day-to-day basis, I guess. And eating some of the random stuff he'd thrown at us as well was also just eye-opening. Absolutely fantastic day. If you're up this neck of the woods, definitely recommend visiting him. I'll leave a link in the description for his website and his YouTube channel because there's some cracking videos on there, to be fair. Anyway, back to the laning. So on to day 3 now, and what actually was the second lane of the day. It's only the second lane that you're getting video footage of because some moron forgot to turn his camera on for the first one.
Driving down the boulevard, cruising with the windows down, feeling like we're on this town. Your song is on the radio, the one you always like, the one.
So this lane's Blanchland Moor. I don't know if I've said that right, probably not because I haven't got a Geordie accent, but anyhow. Cracking lane this one, nice and long, bit dusty, bit rutted, bit rocky in places, but nothing bad. Easy enough to do in pretty much any vehicle. There's a couple of ruts that may be a bit deep for proper low slung stuff, but it should be fine. I do love me a big open moorland lane. Something where you've got massive views. Something about that open space and just room to breathe, I guess. So yeah, it's a great lane this one. Big views, big space, and it's just a really good start to a day on the tracks. And the best part of this one is it leads nicely onto the next set of lanes which run through Staley Forest. So this is one of the many tracks in and around Staley Forest. Unfortunately, when we were there was a good amount of them. We've got temporary restrictions on them due to off-piste and just damaging the tracks. Bad weather, all the rest of it sort of combined to just keep some of them closed, unfortunately. But either way, it's a lovely track through the forest. The smell of pine and everything in the air, it's just wonderful. Wonderful place to be. And there's loads of places to stop for a brew or a picnic, which is brilliant. So after a great couple of hours going across Blanchland Moor and through Staley Forest and just really enjoying the scenery and where we were, it's time to head slightly further north, get a bit of tarmac under the wheels and go do some lanes that folk just don't tend to do very often when they're up this way.
Ignore the world with me tonight. It's electric when you kiss me. Never felt this way before. We're magnetic, wanna stay here.
Now maybe you're wondering why there's a Disco 2 and a Patrol in front of me. Maybe it's some cool camera footage I wanted to try and get of different vehicles on the track. Unfortunately, no. I was barreling past the turning and completely missed it. And it just ended up with Steve leading the way on this track, and I think the one after as well. But anyway, all adds to the fun of the day. This was one of them lanes, it's just a really typifies green lane for me. Doesn't get used very often. As you can see from the grass up at the top bit, there's no one who's comes down here. Got a lovely old bridge. I think it's known locally as a medieval bridge. You had to park on there and get a nice shot of everybody parked up. While we were parked up on the top of the bridge and having a nosy and just checking out the views, there was a local having a little wander down there, and she'd informed us that this next part was completely impassable to cars. Well, it sounds like a bit of a challenge, so we had a little look down there and thought, yeah, we'll have a go at that. It can't be that bad. Well, it wasn't that bad. It was actually alright. You can see off the tarmac in the middle that at some point it's either been a full width road or at the very least a tarmacked footpath. There was a few bits that were tight, like this branch here. Oh, there we go. Twist the camera around. Now see my club hand trying to figure out where the bloody hell it was on the car. Get there in the end of it though and soon spin it round and have it facing the right way. And you'll get to see what the rest of the track's like. Now clearly I don't drive that fast when I'm going down the lanes, and obviously the whoosh isn't the noise of the car making as it goes past trees. Just to speed it up, otherwise it'd be a bit of a long-winded clip that, but you get an idea of what it was like. Nice little farm lane here with a little ford in it. We're definitely going to have to go back up this neck of the woods when there's been a bit more water around.
You make me believe it's real. It's high up above from the ground.
Now we're right at the start of this next lane here, and if anybody can figure out along this one and the next few clips where the bloody hell this branch in front of me came from, so I'm not going to waffle on too much through this track because it's not a particularly difficult track, but the views were amazing across it. So much so we stopped and had a good cuppa and something to eat here as well. Anyway, enjoy the dubious tasting music, click like, subscribe, maybe even drop a comment and let me know if you can see a tree in the next minute or two. So did you happen to notice any trees? No, neither did we. Don't know where that branch came from. Any road. Right, this was a lane that Andy had suggested that we put in after he'd had a quick look through the route and said it'd be a cheeky one to not miss out on. So big climb up, pretty steep shaly climb actually. The camera doesn't do them hills justice. It leads nicely on to the next ford, Brandon Ford. Not a huge amount of water as we've seen in the other ones. We were expecting this one to be a fair bit deeper to be honest, but you know, beautiful little ford, cracking scenery, and the couple on the other side we were happy to see us there, which is always a bonus. This is one of them tracks for me that just gets better and better and better the further you go along it. Starts off fairly obvious, you can kind of make out where the wheel ruts are and the rest of it, and it just gets more and more and more overgrown the further you get into it. By the end of it, the grass was like 5 foot tall either side of us. It wasn't super scratchy or nothing, but it was just a brilliant lane, using braille to see where you're going. Now we're on to the final lane of the day. Clifftop Drive just south of Berwick-upon-Tweed. The weather's come in, as you can see, but it held off a little bit so we could get a photo a bit later on in the day. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful drive. On a summer's day I couldn't think of anywhere I'd rather be than parked up on here, to be honest. Cracking views over the sea, lovely drive, just a wonderful, wonderful lane. One I'll definitely be doing when I'm back up here again. Definitely do this one again. That's it, all done. Thanks for watching. If you want to drop a like, comment, subscribe, ding the bell, whatever it is you want to do, or nothing, up to you. Cheers, see you on the next one.